Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got the how to make automatic guns in Roblox. Pretty much kind of, you can use this to make, things like AK-47s, MP4s, carbon rifles, MGs, you know what I'm saying? Like just guns that just, like it's just hit fire, like just rapid fire guns and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you guys how to make it, so let's get straight into it. Alright, first things first, of course, we're going to need a rig, to test the bullets and stuff, test the damage, make sure like we're actually damaging players. So simply just head on over to avatar, click rig builder, then insert whichever rig you want to. I just went with the block avatar, but you guys can choose whatever you want. Then from there, we're going to head on over to replicated storage and we're going to create a remote event. We can create a remote event by clicking the plus icon, clicking remote event, or if you don't see it, just simply type remote event. Then insert it, rename it to gun event, capital G, capital E, right? And then that's it for replicated storage. Then in server storage, I have my bullet here. It's simply just a part. I just scaled and changed the material to be neon. I just made it really bright. And that's my bullet. Also, I would recommend that you make it not anchored as well. So the bullet just drops like through the ground stuff. So yeah, as well as not non-cancel not cancel I should say. Right, and then simply when you're done making your bullet, simply put it in server storage. And then next, of course, you have your gun. Now, I just want to let y'all know I'm not a modeler. Just a nice, simple little gun. Is literally just parts. It's literally just parts to it, right? So you have the handle. I'm sorry, that's the middle. You have the handle. This is what the player holds. This is where the player's hand goes. It's simply just an invisible part. As you guys can see, it's simply an invisible part. This is where the player's hand will go. You would simply set the transparency to 1, can collide off, anchored off, and then you would, insert a weld constraint. And then you want to weld all these parts together. Like the handle is welded to the, where I think it's welded to the, yeah, the trigger, that's what it is. So all these parts are welded to each other. You can simply insert a weld constraint and then just weld them together. Then of course we have the trigger, you have the middle, and then of course the start. The start is where you want the bullet to, start, like pretty much the exit point on the gun. Like this is where the bullet will start, and then it'll, of course, go straight ahead or whatever direction the player has their mouse in, right? And then we have a reload sound. You guys can use this one. The ID is right here. You guys can use this one. You simply will just insert a sound. Just type sound and then just insert. Let me find it. Insert this ID and boom, you can have the reload sound, right? I got the reload sound from the toolbox anyway. Then of course I have a gun GUI, right? I'm gonna put my gun back in starter pack because you guys want to keep your gun here, so when a player joins, they get the gun automatically, right? And then I'm gonna show you guys the UI. The UI, it's very simple. Just insert a screen GUI into starter GUI, name it gun GUI, then insert a frame and rename it to gun frame, right? Then here's the sizing and positioning I went for if you guys are interested. And then I have a text label, right? And then of course by default the text is not set. We're going to set the text via a script. This is how we're going to display how much ammo a player currently has, right? And then yeah, you would just leave the UI inside of the gun. And then we're going to insert a local script into the gun. And we're going to put the reload sound into the local script. We can rename the local script to I guess gun script local, right? Majority of the work is handled on the client side, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on the local script, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so first things first, we need about say 6 variables. First we need to reference the tool. So local tool is of course equal to script.parent. Then we need to get the local players. So local player is equal to game.players.local player. Then we're going to get the gun remote event. So local gun event is equal to game.replicated storage wait for child gun event, right? Then we're going to get the user input service. Local UIS is equal to game get service user input service. Then from there, we're going to create 2 variables to check if a player is currently reloading, as well as if they have their mouse button, if they're holding down their mouse button, so that we can make sure that the gun is, only the gun is only shooting while the player has their mouse button down. So first, local reloading Of course, both of them will be set to false by default. And then local, let's say like holding mouse down, right? By default, they're both set to false. First function we're going to do is we're going to parent the player GUI. We're going to parent the gun GUI to the player's GUI when they equip the gun, right? So we're gonna make our first function script.parent.equipped connect function close parentheses enter, and then we're going to say script.parent.gun GUI parent is dot parent is equal to player.player GUI. Then we're going to set the text. So bear with me, guys. This is a little bit of typing. So we're gonna do player.player GUI gun GUI. This won't autofill, by the way. So gun GUI dot gun frame dot ammo amount. Hopefully I don't spell anything wrong. Text label dot text is equal to string, right? Oh, sorry, I just remembered. I forgot something I need to cover. Okay, so inside of the tool, you want to insert some attributes, right? Simply click on the tool, then go down here, enter an attribute. You're going to want to make it a number, right? And then just name it ammo, max ammo. So ammo, this is the starting ammo. Like, so a player will start at 24 bullets, but they have a max of 24. So when they start shooting bullets and stuff, this will be subtracted. If I shoot 2 bullets, I'm going to have 22 out of 24 bullets because the maximum amount of ammo I can have is 24 bullets, right? That's pretty much how this works. So yeah, just make sure you name them, you know, what I named them. But anyway, we're going to do tool get attribute ammo, right? Then we're going to go on the outside and we're going to say dot quotation marks. Then we're going to do a slash. We don't need to put a space, and do dot. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to say string tool get attribute, this time max ammo. This is how we'll be able to display the player's current ammo. Now on to the next function for when they unequip it, right? We're gonna pretty much do the opposite. So script.parent.unequipped connect function close parentheses enter, and then we're pretty much just going to return the player. We're going to return the gun GUI back to the gun, so the player cannot see it anymore because there's no point to see how much bullet you have unless you're using the gun. So we're going to say player GUI gun GUI parent equal to script.parent. Once again, I want to extra T. But anyway, I want to remind you guys, please make sure you named everything exactly as I named it, unless you know how to change it. Because a lot of times people will name the UI whatever they want, and then they'll be confused when it says like, oh, can't find this, can't find that. So just make sure you're naming everything as I named it. But anyway, moving on. Next we have the user input service function that detects if the player is holding down the mouse button. So we're going to do us.input began connect function in parentheses put input, then enter. We're going to say if input dot user input type is equal to enum dot user input type dot mouse button 1 and player dot character find first child tool dot name enter. We're going to first make sure that the player is pressing the mouse button, the left mouse button, as well as the fact that they have the gun equipped in their with their character rather than just in their backpack. Then we're going to set the holding mouse down variable. We're going to set the values. We're going to set the variable's value. So holding mouse button down is of course going to be set to true. We're going to use a while loop. So we're going to say while holding down mouse button equal to true do enter. You can just put enter and then it'll autofill do. And we're going to say wait 0.1 because we do want to have a little bit of a delay. So like we give the sound to be heard of the bullets being fired and stuff. And then I'm going to, oh, I forgot actually. Yeah. So I have a sound in sound service, pretty much same thing here and stuff. This is the firing sound and stuff. Here's the ID if you guys want it. Simply just insert the sound into sound service and boom. And this is the firing sound you'll have, right? So wait 0.1 Then we're going to use an if statement to make sure that we have enough ammo. So if tool get attribute ammo, right, is greater than or equal to 1 and reloading is equal to false, then we're going to get the start position, end position, and then fire their remote event. So local start position is equal to tool.start.position, and local end position is equal to player get mouse dot hit dot position. Then we're going to send it over. So gun event fire server, we're going to say in quotation marks shoot as the event type. We're going to send over the tool, we're going to send over the start position, and lastly the end position. And boom, we are done with that function. Moving on to the next, we are almost done on the local script. Okay, so if we go down here, now we just need to make the inverse of this, but not all this. Simply, we're just setting the variable's value to false. So we're going to do us.input ended connect function in parentheses put input, then enter, and say if input dot user input type is equal to enum dot user input type dot mouse button 1 and player dot character find first child tool dot name, pretty much the same thing we did before. We are going to set the variable's value to false because this means the player has stopped holding on the left mouse button, so there's no reason. This checks to make sure that the player has enough ammo and currently isn't reloading. This checks to make sure that they are well, this I should say will make sure that what's it called, that they're not able to fire the gun anymore if they're no longer holding the mouse button down, right? And then lastly, we have, I believe, I want to say like 2 more functions left, I think. So on to the next thing, we have the reload function, right? When a player wants to reload the gun. So let's go ahead and set it up similar to what we did the first time. Let's do us.input begin connect function in parentheses put input enter. We're then going to say if user input, we're going to say if input dot user input type is equal to enum dot user input type. I'm sorry guys, I'm tired, not even gonna show. Anyway, the keyboard, then we're gonna do if input dot keycode is equal to enum dot keycode, and of course R, because you know R is for reloading, or if you want to change it, you can make it whatever you want. And player dot character find first child tool dot name, simply what we did, literally what we did in the other function. We're going to set the reloading variable to true. We're going to fire the remote event, so gun event fire server. We're going to say reload. Then we're going to send over the tool, right? Then we are going to set the text of the player's GUI, so player dot player GUI dot gun GUI dot gun frame dot ammo amount text label dot text is equal to reloading. And and then just a couple more things. We're going to play the reload sound, script dot reload play. We're gonna wait 25 seconds, and then we're gonna set reloading to false because it should be done after half a second. Now we have the last function, and then we can go to the server side, or the server script I should say. So we're gonna do gun event dot on client script connect function in parentheses. You're going to put event type, enter. You're gonna say if event type is equal to shoot, then simply we can go up here and copy and paste this, so we save a lot of time. We're going to paste this, right? So Control C, then Control V, then you're gonna go right here and you're gonna say else if event type is equal to reload, then you're going to paste it once again. But the only difference is this time you want to add a cooldown. You want to say wait 0.5, and so it'll take time for it to properly be displayed, or I mean properly reload, I guess is what you could say. And we are done with the local script. Now we can move on to the server script. So we can go ahead and close that out. Let's head on over to server script service and insert a server script. We can rename this script to gun script server, right? Delete print hello world. And then of course, you already know that one of the first things we got to do is of course retrieve the gun remote event. So local gun event is equal to game.replicated storage, wait for child, gun event. Then we're going to retrieve the bullet. Local bullet is equal to game.server storage, wait for child, bullet. The next thing we're gonna get the tween service. Local ts is equal to game get service tween service. And for our last variable, we're going to get the sound service. Local sound service is equal to game get service sound service, right? Then we're going to have one big function to handle everything. So we're going to do gun event dot on server event connect function in parentheses. You're going to put PLR, which is short for the player. You put event type. You're going to put tool start POS and end POS, then enter, right? You're going to say if event type is equal to shoot, right? Then tool, this will not autofill, by the way, so make sure you're typing this correctly. Set attribute, and we're going to say that ammo, because we're setting the ammo. Then we're going to put a comma here. Equals tool get attribute ammo right here, but -1. It's pretty much we're subtracting the current amount of ammo the player has, you know, by 1 because they shot 1 bullet, right? For each time the remote event is fired. Then we're going to fire the remote event back to the client. So an event at our client, we're going to say shoot. Then this will make it so that it updates the amount of times that we've shot the gun. I mean, yeah, not every time we shot the gun, more so how many bullets we have left. Yeah, so every time we shoot, you know, of course it's gonna go down by 1, or if we reload it'll go all the way back up. Then moving on, we gotta make some variables. First we need to get the player's character. Local character is equal to player dot character. Then we're gonna get the direction. Local direction is equal to parentheses. We're gonna say end POS minus start POS dot unit times, I'm gonna go with 200. You guys can play around with the number and see what you like, but I'm gonna go with 200. Then we're gonna create some raycast parameters. Local raycast params is equal to raycast params dot new raycast params dot filter type is equal to enum dot filter raycast filter type, and this is exclude. We want everything on this list to exclude. Oh, sorry, 1 equals sign. We want it to literally exclude everything. So then we're gonna say raycast params dot filter descendants type is equal to, we're gonna make it a table. So of course the first thing we're going to get the tool's descendants. So tool get descendants, right? Of course, let me just make sure I spelled that right. And of course we're gonna get the tool because we don't want the tool to, you know, kind of hit itself. And then of course we want to get the characters parts as well. So character get descendants, right? So that the player can't damage himself pretty much. Then we're gonna cast array. Say local raycast equal to workspace raycast. We're gonna say start position direction and then the raycast params, and boom, just like that we've cast array. And we're gonna say if raycast, then we're gonna clone the bullet. Local bullet clone is equal to bullet clone dot parent is equal to game dot workspace. We needed to, of course, you know, we're cloning it, and then we need to move it over into the workspace so that, you know, players can actually see it. Then of course we're going to set the position. So dot position, dot position is equal to start POS, of course. Then we're going to set the C frame, so it's facing the right direction. So C frame is equal to C frame dot new start position, then start position plus tool dot middle dot C frame dot look vector, right? Then moving on, I'm going to make a variable for the duration, how long the bullet pretty much the bullet travel, I should say. So local duration is equal to NPOS minus start POS. But this time we're going to use the magnitude. So dot magnitude, and we're going to divide it. I recommend using 1,000, but once again, you guys can play around with the numbers, see what you like. So divide that by 1,000. Then we're going to set up the bullet tween. Local bullet tween. Don't worry, guys, we are almost done. Bullet tween is equal to TS create. And of course, we're going to put the bullet clone for the instance, then tween info dot new. We're going to put duration for the time, then enum. Oh, sorry. And of course, for enum dot easing style. If you guys have seen my other videos, I recommend with any type of gun, like whatever, any type of gun, system or whatever, always go with either quad or cubic. Choose one of the two, right? I'm gonna go with quad. Then of course for easing direction, I keep doing that. So of course for easing direction, we're gonna go out, right? Then of course we're gonna put a comma, and then we're gonna make the property table. We're gonna set the position bullet equal to end position. That is the goal. Then skip to the next line and say bullet tween play, right? And of course, I'm gonna use the sound service to play the sounds of the gun firing, pretty much. Dot rare AK-47 play. That's the name of the audio. Then moving on to the next line, we're going to check to see if the player hits anything, and if they do hit something, we're going to check to see if it's a player. If it is a player, we're going to deal damage. So if raycast dot instance dot parent find first child humanoid, then raycast dot instance dot parent dot humanoid, we could say take damage, and then we can insert how much damage we want to do. I'm gonna just go with 20, or actually no, let me just go with 10, just so I have room to really test. So I'm gonna say 10. You guys can set it to whatever value you want. And we are almost done, guys. That's where we were almost done. So we're gonna skip to the second end right here. We're gonna skip, press enter a couple times. Then we're gonna say else if the event type is equal to reload, then right, say tool set attribute ammo, comma, tool get attribute. Of course, we're going to set it to max ammo because this is the reloading. And then simply I'm going to fire the mode event after, fire client player, and reload, sending over the event type. Boom, guys, just like that, we are done. Like a hot minute, but we did it. Okay, let's go ahead and test this. See how it looks, and I guess how it sounds as well. Okay, so yeah, no, I already know. It's literally all I did was just make it. It just made the part a little longer. Just literally, it doesn't look that different from my pistol. But anyway, so if I hold it down, oh, unable to cast value to object. It seems to have a problem. And I meant to fire client. Unable to cast value to object. Oh, wait, I'm confused. Oh, I see. Oh, sorry guys. But make sure you put player here, because we have to fire it, because if we're firing from server to client, we have to make sure it's the player. We have to fire, fire the remote event for the specific player, then pass over any additional arguments, which would be, the event type. So now let's see. There we go. Okay, so if I hold it down, as you guys can see, and here as well, you can hear. Now if I hold it down, let go, it stops. Hold it down, let go, it stops. And then test it on the rig, boom, it does damage. And then eventually it'll kill, boom. Then I can reload. That simple. Yep, that's how you make a simple automatic gun system and stuff. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. If you want access to this script or model or any of my other scripts or models, you guys can become a channel member by pressing the join button next to the subscribe. Thank you to all my channel members, as well as all my subscribers who show love to all my videos. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.